Yeah, what's up, Ultimate Pill family? Ultimate Pill listeners? Everybody that tunes in faithfully, I appreciate y'all. I know Chris does as well. My name's Anthony, and I'm one of the co-hosts of the Ultimate Pill podcast. Just a couple of dudes trying to do the best we can to be vulnerable, to be seekers after knowledge and truth, in a hope and attempt to be life supportive, because we think that's what it's all about over here at the Ultimate Pill. This is Mindset Monday 47, following episode 51 of the Ultimate Pill podcast. Mindset Mondays are those little dosages, little drops we drop on Mondays to get your week going right. And what a special one it is, man. New year, 2024. And it's special for us because it's a look back and a realization that Chris and I have been doing this show for a year now, which is really cool. Committed ourselves to doing this consistently as a creative outlet for a year. And we're in it for the long haul. So we'll see y'all in 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 6, 7, keep going. Till something pops. But that's not what we're here to talk about right now. I want to talk to you guys really quickly about some bite-sized, just little nuggets that we took from episode 51 in an attempt to encourage you to get your week started off right, but get your year started off right as well as we start 2024 this year. Episode 51 was about how we can find a way to balance between enjoying life and improving life. And we covered a lot of ground. But one thing I wanted to hone in on as a point of emphasis, again, in an attempt to encourage, is this concept of this idea. Chris was kind of interpreting it as his map. Conceptually, we got to have maps for how we navigate reality. And I like that. I would agree with that. I think another way of putting it is the way that I put it, which is looking at the filters that we use to contextualize the content of reality, of human existence. If you look at yourself as a vessel, maybe a vase or a pot, and the water that we pour into that pot, into that vessel, is all the content of life, meaning all of the day-to-day things, the relationships, the news, the media that you consume, the books you read. It's just constantly pouring into you. We're taking things in, and sometimes we're not even aware of it, right? So we're like this open vacuum vessel that's just consuming all this stuff. And Chris and I honed in on, for him, the map again, but for me, filter. The filters by which we, filter that content, that water that comes through. You imagine someone who's like scanning for gold, right? And they have those pans that they use in the riverbeds, right? And they scoop up some of the riverbed dirt and they shake it and they shift it and let the finer materials of dirt and sand and whatever and whatnot fall through, and what's left is sometimes stones, bigger pebbles, but sometimes gold, right? And in a way, that's how our brains work, to me, in a metaphor. That's how we interpret human existence, is that filter, right? For Chris, it's a map. And I wanted to encourage all you listening today, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, try to conscientiously make focusing on the filters by which we contextualize the content of existence a point of emphasis going into the week and going into 2024, in hope that we're able to find a way to balance between enjoying life and improving it. Because here's the thing, there is so much to consume. There's so much content. There's so much distractions. There's so many things that want your attention. Chris emphasized attention and awareness, which is great, because that's really what we're getting down to as well. There's so many things and people and storylines and narratives and media that's constantly vying for your attention, your awareness. And if you look at, maybe you should start to look at your attention and your awareness as a hot commodity. It's a valuable thing. And there's just some things that you can't afford to continue giving awareness to, attention to. There's some things that are falling through the filter that aren't good for you, that aren't good for the water that is inside your vessel. there are some ways of looking at reality, i.e. filters, that are not healthy or conducive for you. So, ultimately, what I'm getting at is encouraging you to look at the things by which we use to contextualize the content of human existence, to put it into context. That can be narratives, that can be maps, as Chris said. These could be filters. By my way of my metaphor, ultimately, you're using some structural conception of how you take in the content of the world around you. And if we can be a little bit more disciplined with that, a little bit more intentional with that, a little bit more cognitive and conscientious about what we're letting in and letting out, I think you're going to be far better off. You're going to start to see improvements in your mood, your spirit, the world around you. This doesn't mean we have to be rude and cut people off or ghost people, right? If you talk about it relationally, it just means being aware, being conscientious. And sometimes that's just enough. Being aware of what you're letting in. You can start this by being aware, kind of in a third person way, when you're in a mood. So as you go about your week, we start 2024 off, and we go back to work, and you find yourself mad or pissed off. Stop and ask yourself, okay, how did I get here? What's really making me mad? Is this something that needs to make me mad? Is this something that I should even bother with? Is this something that I shouldn't have let slip through my filter, and it's tainting the water that fills up my vessel? Because it might be something you can just let go. It might be something that you can choose not to focus on and let you get down. All right? All in all, this is in hope that we can get 2024 started off right, because I'm excited about it, man. I can't even say the word. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. Appreciate everybody that's listened faithfully and been there to support us. If you want to support us further, there's a link in the show bio on Spotify. But ultimately, just knowing that there's even just one person out there that finds value in what we're saying is support enough. Appreciate y'all. Let's go get this year.